What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Jake here at Nerd Level Rising. I have had a busy and stressful week, as almost every week seems to be these days, but I'm doing my best, and we're getting through it. I still got some good reading in, and I have some weird stuff coming up. I think I mentioned this last week. There's going to be some travel coming up that might mean some different stuff on the channel here for a second, but I'll talk about that more in a minute. Let's talk about the reading first. Let's get into that. So because of all the planning that's going on with trying to coordinate this whole trip and everything, I have been up a little bit later, which meant I was really sleepy and didn't get hardly anything read in Defiant, that last Skyward book by Brandon Sanderson. I'm still enjoying it. I'm just moving slow these last couple weeks, but I am still enjoying it. I do want to try to finish it before I go on this trip, because I'm going to be gone for like 3 weeks or something, and so I don't want to take that long of a break in the middle of a book. I'm going to try to knock it out before I do that, which means it'll probably become not just my bedtime chip away read. I'll probably just sit down and try to knock it out here over a couple days at some point. We'll see. Other than that, what else did I do? I read the short stories in the Wars of Light and Shadow. This is the Decoy, Reigns of Destiny, Child of Prophecy. All of those you can read after you finish Curse of the Mistwraith. And then I also read The Sundering Star, which can be read after Warhost of Vastmark. These are awesome, guys. They're very short and sweet. They're 20, 30 pages long. One of them's a little bit longer. It's like 40, 45. But wow, they're awesome. First of all, it's awesome to just be back in Aethera and just have that writing style, that storytelling, that world. Oh man, it just felt so good to be back. It's been a long time since I read Warhost of Vastmark now, and I'm waiting to pick up Fugitive Prince for our big read-along to kind of catch up to that point, which is pretty soon. And I think it's around a month or so from now I'll be able to pick that up, so that'll be fun. And but I needed to get back to Aethera in the meantime. I needed my fix, right? So I got through those. I think my favorite is probably, I don't know. I really liked The Decoy. I really liked Child of Prophecy. Those are probably my two favorites. I'm not sure which one's my favorite out of those two, but they were great. All four of these stories gave us an interesting character and an interesting conflict that was happening, but they gave us like this little nugget, this little something that just made me kind of sit back and go, that makes me rethink some stuff that's going on in these main novels. This gives me like a different side of what's happening, or it gives me a reveal, a little piece of truth that I didn't know before. And wow, that's just, it's so exciting, and I can't wait to see these explored in more depth in the full series. And also, thank goodness for Janny, because I completely misinterpreted part of one of these stories, and I messaged her and I was like, this is crazy, and she was just like, what? Like, where'd you get that from? It's this. And I was like, oh, right. So I had to go back and look at it again, and sure enough, right, I was just wrong. So, but yeah, it's please go read those. They're awesome. They're on her website, Paravia.com. They're really cheap, and you can get the digital versions to go on your e-reader, and they're great. So worth it. So worth the time. After that, I was continuing to chip away at this, Claw the Conciliator, Book 2 of Book of the New Sun. I am getting, I think we're almost halfway through this now. We're up to chapter... I'm recording this here on Sunday the 15th, so we read chapter 15 today. Me and Joanna are reading one chapter a day and talking about it back and forth. It's so fun. And then we're going to get together with our whole big read-along group here once everyone is finished and go through the big discussion there. I'm loving this so much. It is fantastic. It's taking so much of what I love from book one, and some of it is very different. Like the tone is different. That gothic tone that was there so strongly in the first part of book one is not really here so much because the setting is just different. But that tone is still here in other ways, right? It's just a little bit different. But we're getting a deeper exploration of the world. We're seeing different parts of Earth here. We're seeing more philosophizing from Severian, some really interesting thoughts that he's having. We're seeing a lot more depth of just the weirdness. I hear this is the book where it starts to really go off the wall, and we can see that starting. We can see that starting for sure, and I just can't wait to see where it goes, right? This is one that, it's been a slow burn, but I'm so glad that I'm doing it this way, because every day when I close a chapter, I so badly want to do more, but then that means I'm so hungry to get back to it the next day, right? It keeps the excitement there. It's really, really fresh every day when I come into it. And I think even more importantly, by having these discussions with Joanna after every chapter, it's like, if we were doing multiple chapters, we wouldn't be able to talk about everything, right? Like there's just so much. These are like 6 or 7 page chapters, and he packs so much stuff into here. Like it's crazy. So Gene Wolfe, master of the craft, loving this to death. Can't wait to continue and see where that's going. I'm going to keep working on that, of course, through this week. I am going to as well keep working on Lord Fowl's Bane. Here I am. I hit page 300 today. I'm on chapter 17. I am, I think, about almost 2/3 of the way through this now, and I'm loving this, man. Is that going to stand up? It is. It reminds me in some ways of a lot of things. I think this is now officially the thing that I've read that has felt most like Lord of the Rings. There it goes. It has felt the most like Lord of the Rings. Let's just set it over here. In terms of the way the story is told, the sort of whimsical, just the way that the world works. It's very different from Tolkien, but it reminds me that it evokes a similar feeling of just like being in a story, you know? And the prose, I think, sort of in a way reminds me of Gene Wolfe, because it's of course very different from Wolfe, but I think it is very accessible, and there are some words that are, you know, kind of archaic or old-fashioned or uncommon, and of course there's a bunch of made-up words, but I think it has the similar feeling of, it's not incredibly complicated, and it's not incredibly difficult to understand what the words mean and what's happening and things like that, but it still has that feeling of teleporting you to a different world and a different time, and there I don't know, there's something about it. It's so simple but so beautiful and sort of complex in its own way, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know, but I'm loving Lord Fowl's Bane. It just feels like a classic quest mythical adventure thing, but like with some really big twists on it, and it's kind of fun, like now being a very far from a Tolkien scholar, but I'm familiar enough with the story that I can read this and I can be like, okay, wow, it looks like he's kind of taking what Tolkien did with Lord of the Rings, but he's putting this twist on it here and then this twist on it over here, and seeing where that diverts that sort of storytelling structure, right? It's great. It's really great. So I will be honest, I mentioned last week I had gotten to the part where a lot of people nope out of this book, and an assault scene, right? And I am told this is handled very well with a lot of care, and it is, yeah. And so I think I'm seeing seeds of where that is going to go, but we haven't seen it really dealt with much yet, and it's been some time since it happened. So I can see why people might hit that and then be like, okay, let's see how he handles this. And then let's see how the author handles this. And then they continue and they get several chapters deeper, and they're like, this hasn't really been dealt with. This seems like it's just sort of flippant, and like I don't like this. I'm going to stop, right? I can totally see that reaction. I could just be biased and I could be projecting, but I think I'm seeing the effects of this event on our main character, and I have a feeling it's going to come together and will be dealt with in a satisfying way. So I'm going to stick it out, right? Obviously, I'm going to stick it out because I'm loving the rest of the book. I'm just how that sits at the end of the story, I think will certainly contribute to my overall feeling of the book. So we'll see. But overall, it's great. I'm loving it. So okay, that's everything that I was reading here this week. What I'm going to continue this coming week, as I said, keep going through Claw of the Conciliator, hopefully finish Lord Fowl's Bane. That shouldn't be a problem. I think I can do that. And then I would love to also finish Defiant by Sanderson. That's my big goal. It's my big goal because this is my last full week here before I go out of town for a little bit. And I just don't want to have to lug a bunch of physical books. I'm going to bring Book the New Sun with me so I can keep that same pace that we've been doing. But otherwise, I'm probably going to stick to digital stuff here while I'm on the road. It's just easier, right? And with that being said, I should, before my next update here, will pass the release date of While Darkness Gathers by Philip Chase, the next sequel book in the following the Edan trilogy. And I've been planning all year. That's going to be a day one read for me. That's still on the books. So that should happen. I'm excited, right? I'm really excited to get that. I already have it pre-ordered. If you're watching this, go pre-order it. That'll help the numbers and everything, which is always helpful to launch these books. And wow, I'm just the way the Edan trilogy wrapped up with Return to Edan, just I loved everything about it, and I can't wait to see what's happening here after a little bit of time has passed. So excited for that. So excited for that. I have some other plans for digital reads following that, but I'll talk about that here as we get a little bit closer. Other than that, there's not been a whole lot going on that I can talk about here because it's just been a lot of, trying to work ahead on some stuff to be prepared to go out of town, trying to plan this trip, trying to just do all this stuff, right? It's just it's been a lot. So I haven't been able to really watch a whole lot of TV. We watched a little bit of Dexter. We finished season 4, which if you've seen Dexter, you know, right? If you know, you know. We're now a little bit into season 5. I still, a lot of people say the quality dips. I still love it, right? I totally understand the first 4 seasons are it's hard to argue that that's not the peak, but I still really enjoy the rest of it. So we're going to keep working through that. Otherwise, kind of chilling. Didn't really have any live stream stuff this week. I don't think I shouted this out on my channel, but David from Four Corners of the Page did a really cool video where he had a bunch of booktubers come in and talk about some of their favorite music that means the most to them and put it all together in a big collab video. And I was fortunate enough to be invited to be part of that, and it's awesome. I think that video is so cool. I love talking about music. It's really fun. I could talk about it forever. And I struggled to condense it down to a small amount of time. But I did my best. But it was so cool to see what these other people talked about. Everybody had such awesome choices and such deep reasons for why they love it. And music is such a special thing, man. It really touches us on a deep and personal and different level from I think a lot of other mediums do, maybe any other medium. There's just something about it, man. There's something about it. So go check out that video. It's really, really good. It's really good. Okay, stuff coming up on the channel. There's not a ton, again, because I'm kind of trying to coordinate with my travel stuff. As you're watching this will be tonight. As you're watching this, Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I am sitting down with a bunch of friends, and we're going to talk to John, Amy, and Jacob Minton from the Talking Story channel to talk about Discovery, their book that everybody's loving, man. We've seen so many people pick this up and are loving it. I loved it. It was a big departure from my normal comfort zone of books, but I loved it. It really opened my eyes to, like, I want more of this kind of thing. So I'm excited to expand my horizons, right? But that'll be me. That'll be Alex from Iskandaria, Chance Dillon, Chris from the Bearded Book Beast, Preacher Reads, and then, of course, the Talking Story family to do everything about their book. They've done a bunch of streams about this. They've talked about the writing process. I'm sure we'll have a little bit of questions about that sort of thing. But the main thing, we want to get into some spoilers, man. So they've done a couple videos now where they've gotten into some spoilers, and we want to be able to just expand that and talk about some stuff that they haven't gotten into too much and all that sort of thing. We have questions, guys, so we're going to get in there. So join us in the chat. You'll probably be safe there at the beginning. We'll give a big spoiler warning when we're about to jump into spoilers. But if you have read the book, hang out, ask some questions. We'll definitely bring some questions in from the chat and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be really fun. That's coming up, like I said, as you're watching this tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time. Looking at my notes, that's all I have on the books right now, right? We do have our upcoming discussion on The Will of the Many. That's myself, John, as I just mentioned, from Talking Story, Philip Chase, Chance Dillon that I also just mentioned, and Jimmy from the Fantasy Network. That we have that on the books. I think we're going to have to reschedule it, unfortunately, because of my travel stuff. So we're trying to decide if we're going to move it earlier before I leave, or it might be sometime this upcoming week. I don't know. Or potentially, probably more likely would be to push it back until once I get back. We'll see. But that'll be happening here at some point. I'll give you guys a firm date when that happens. And then we have some other stuff coming up. Like towards the end of the month is the big discussion of Warhost of Vastmark. That'll be on Brian Bell's channel at BellTube. I think I might be able to make that. I'm not entirely sure. I hope so, because I've been looking forward to talking about Warhost for so long, and then this weird travel, like this trip has changed so many times, you guys. I can't even tell you how many times this has changed, that the dates have changed. It got longer, then it got shorter, and then it got longer again, and then it changed again. Like it's been a whirlwind. So I'm hoping I can make, I think that's towards the end of the month, right? I think it's the 28th maybe, that I think I can make it. I really, really hope I can make it. If I can't, I will cry for a long time, and I'll be really, really sad. But yeah, that's all we have on the books for now. There will be a discussion on Claw of the Conciliator at some point, that big buddy read. There will be a discussion at some point on Lord Valsbane, my buddy read there, with Sam from iSamwise and Shay from Zachary Shay. We'll get that on the books. I'll keep you guys updated. But for now, that's all I got. And I'm going to stop rambling because I need to go book some Airbnbs and stuff like that. So wish me luck. And we'll get through it. We'll see how many of these ebooks we can knock out on the drive, because it's going to be a big old road trip. So, yeah, me and my girlfriend will take turns driving, and I'll be able to at least get some reading done. We'll see how much. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got. Let me know in the comments, what's your week like? What are you guys doing? What are you up to? What are you reading? What are you watching? All that kind of stuff. Talk to me down there. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's keep growing the community. I love seeing this thing get bigger and just meet people, have cool conversations. It's the best, man. It's the best. And y'all are going to help me de-stress by talking to you about cool fantasy books when I'm out on the road and just kind of annoyed that my normal routine is disrupted. And no, it'll be fun. It'll be some vacation stuff too, so it'll be fun. Anyway, rambling some more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.